So what would you say is your overall goal?
So I do want to lose some weight where I feel comfortable, because
Yep.
it's more around the hips and the stomach. I actually feel I'm getting stronger now, but
Yep.
since I've had Torrin, I just can't shake those last few kilos.
Yep.
So he's like, when I had Fia, we were able to walk every day because obviously it's one child, and we had good footpaths around the house. And I joined like an online training thing because I don't like the big gyms, and
Yep.
so I'm really liking these classes, but it's just obviously it's not working. What I just know I'm not doing that walk, and
Yep.
like the classes are longer, but yeah, so I'm kind of just stuck in that rut. Like I'm doing 3 to 4 a week,
Yep.
but just some sort of movement at home that I'll just make it a pattern.
Yep.
Yeah.
Overall goal, you've so on here we'd written 10 kilos.
Yeah, I actually, because I think I have lost about 3
Mhm.
to 4, and then my scales are a bit dodgy because it depends what service they're on.
Yeah.
And I know you don't really base it on weight
Yeah.
sometimes.
So we'll get the scan, because what the scan does is the scan shows your body composition. So
Yeah,
instead of always looking at that number on the scale, we want to look
yeah,
at, like, I lost weight and I lost 5 kilos, but I lost 3 kilos of muscle. So it was actually
yeah.
heavier. Yeah. Have you ever like done any measurements of yourself?
Um, Only if I'm buying clothes online, but nothing to compare. I definitely can feel it. Because I'm a size 12,
Yeah.
and when I'm in my fittest, like I'm in the late 70s in the kilos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm mid 80s at the moment,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I'm buying actual size 12 pants,
Yeah.
and I'm getting the zip up, and they fit. Obviously depends on the brand, but like I was having to go to the 14s, and
It can be hard, like,
yeah.
but
So
even like some of the clothes, like, you're like the other week, I got a pair of pants from Chic and I went up a size. I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, they're normally really well, but they were just a tighter, like,
Yeah, and it
tighter
depends,
fit.
like I could be a
Yeah.
10 to 14 in,
Yeah.
like, if they're oversized. But yeah, I just want to kind of fit into, yeah, like my current clothes more comfortably,
Yeah.
and I can tell, yeah.
So I guess what we want to do is we want to really define what's going to feel like you've achieved your goal. So
Yeah.
it's like feeling, like, would I be right in saying it's feeling more comfortable in
Yes.
the clothes
Yeah.
you're in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some,
And tighter as well, like toned.
yeah. So toned is
Different.
a very broad, but that's
Yeah.
what I see. Like, so what does toned mean to you?
I think, like, I can feel it on my stomach, like, if you sit down and you got that and the legs,
Yeah.
like the wobble, I suppose.
Yeah.
But where I suppose I can correlate that to be comfortable, where, yeah, like I'm not really sucking in to put the pants on.
Yeah.
It's just getting that bit smaller and firmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, yeah.
So we want to say you want to feel like you're a size 12 comfortably.
Yeah, yeah, more like, yeah, because after I had Fia, like it kind of came off after I was persistent. So I learnt how to cook, like use ingredients a bit better from that. So I know that I do snack a bit, but I try to buy like the rice crackers, or that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But now my shift work's kind of a bit more mainstream, like home at night time, and
Yeah.
um,
So how much did you put weight on during?
yeah, I usually put like up to 30 kilos.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fluid, and then once I have the kids, like it kind of just slowly comes off because I had
Yeah.
Caesars.
Yeah.
And yeah, with Fia it kind of, and like you could see it around my face, and I was like a solid, like smaller size 12. Like you could, everything it would just fit comfortably no matter what brand.
Yeah.
Sometimes even a 10 in the top, but I've always been that bit bigger down the bottom.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely feeling yeah, like healthier, but it's just, and I suppose with the ear thing. It slowed me down a bit, and the persistence and the 2 kids and dragging them out wasn't enjoyable.
So I think that's what we want to get clear on what, which I think that's a good goal, is to feel more comfortable in your clothes, and to be, like your, I guess you said you felt when you had fear that you were that smaller size 12.
Yeah, definitely. It took me a good few months, probably like 4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
She was about 6 months old, and I felt really good. Yeah.
So when do you feel like you want to achieve this by?
So I'm going to Bali in June. I don't expect the weight to rapidly come off, but bikini bod, or at least more comfortable.
Yeah.
So even just a couple of
June?
kilos. I fly out on the 20th of June, and
That's at the end of June.
Yeah.
March, April.
So 3 months.
We've got 3 months. Wicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought, oh, okay, so bikini bod in a way.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It's good to have a like a date or something in mind that's going to make us more motivated.
Yeah.
So when you lost weight after you had fear, what things did you do? Is that the only time have you spent a lot of time in your life dieting? Have you not?
No. I was pretty I did a lot of walking, like from my I would walk, and I love walking. I would walk to school and back, and I ate terribly. Like, I had no idea about nutrition. You'd eat whatever your parents ate, like the mash and the veg. Like, this one, you never wore sunscreen. It was spag bowl, rice dishes.
Yeah.
And then, but I was kind of active. Like, I worked and, walked to school every day. And then and then I did a bit of basketball. And then I continued basketball with work. I tried gyms here and there, like the Good Life one, but that was phases. And then, I was never determined. I just did walks with friends. And then when I had fear, I joined up the TIFXO. I think I mentioned Tiffany Hall.
Yeah.
So my friend, who's a dietitian, got me onto that because she knew I didn't really like gyms. So I had that year off work, and I signed up to her, and she had the meal plans, and that's how I learnt how to cook.
So you followed her meal plan.
Followed her plan, and I did her 20-minute exercises at home. And for some reason, I'm just not feeling them. Like I had, and I've kind of kept that going for the meals, because John actually lost weight from the meals.
Yeah. So what was her meals like?
So she does so breakfasts are like smoothies, and just using like cottage cheese, and like substitute, like I've never even heard of cottage cheese or ricotta, like making lasagnas out of like putting an eggplant sheet between, and then ricotta cheese.
Yeah.
And like when you're cooking your pastas, you use passata, and and like all the curries are like brown rice. So I've substituted all those sort of things in my day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
But I've the recipes have gone a bit null. So, and then I've had to adjust stuff that the kids will eat. But like in the morning, I'm kind of persistent. I'll have like coconut yogurt with like granola and fruit and a banana. So I find I'm pretty good with the morning.
Did you ever get like a specific protein, fats, or carbs to meet too?
So you could kind of select what you wanted. And then the meals, like they kind of had a set one, so it wasn't personalized.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like a weight loss. And then I found I was substituting a lot, so I probably wasn't counting calories.
Yeah.
Because it was like tofu, and I know John doesn't like tofu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll kind of double the ingredients, because that would not be filling for us. But then I would be mindful of, and I really cut down to 1 coffee a day, where I kind of feel I need the 2 at the moment. But I've started using like Zimmel milk, or like just because I was getting a bit of a bloat. Anyway.
From the milk. Yeah.
And the coconut yogurt. So I'm trying to just.
So do you prefer to do you like following a plan?
I do. I do, as if it's like good for the kids as well, like, or like the whole family.
Yeah.
Because I do all the cooking pretty much. So the weekends I'll kind of slack off and we'll get some sort of takeaway on the Saturday nights or something. So I do like having a set plan, because then I'll order the groceries and then I could be good for like 2 weeks, and then if I have a really but yeah, like, and then I buy like the lean meat and stuff like that. So we've always been pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah.
are you happy to eat? Do you want to eat the same as the kids, or are you happy to cook separate for you?
I'm happy to cook separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that I have to have like those backup frozen meals anyway in the freezer, because
Yeah.
if the kids, like the spaghetti ones that Fia likes, and Torrin go through phases where he'll just eat snacks all day anyway. He won't even eat the dinner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy.
You're happy to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had, you've written here, like your goal was your 10 kilos. So like, I think that's our main focus.
Yeah, and I have lost a few, so I probably got like 6 to 7 more to go if my scales are behaving. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do a scan, which will help you see. But you know, 6 to 7 kilos, if you know, like 3 months is not, it's not unachievable.
Yeah, well, I kind of put forward 2024, and I was like, well, actually, if or at least like another few kilos, like to the early
Because
eighties.
if we did 2024, by the end of the year, you would be wanting to lose like 1 kilo a month.
Yeah.
But I think if we wanted like say, you know, we could say like 6 to 7, you could really try, but to
do that
before June. And the thing is that we don't, my biggest thing is I don't want you to restrict.
Yeah.
I don't want to go, oh, okay, well, we're going to restrict and we're going to cut out this and we're going to cut out that, because you're not going to stick to it long term. We've got to find, it means it takes longer, then it just takes longer, but you're more likely to stick to it.
Yeah.
But what we would want to do is we would want to be looking at, okay, we've got this holiday in June, so let's see what we can do. And let's not put like an exact, we have to lose this. Then let's just see what we can do. And then after your holiday, we'll see again on creating a plan. So whether you've lost your weight by then and you feel good, we then still need to make a plan for maintenance, because
of course,
got to learn how to make sure that we're maintaining it and not
exactly.
So you said to have more energy and endurance. So
because our house is up on a hill. So, and we've got so many hills, and you've probably heard of those Lara Drive stairs. So like I could go up them and just be totally like short of breath, and it's like, and even taking my bins down every week is a workout, like, because you got to go up the driveway. So I can feel like I'm stronger in the legs, but I do get asthma, and you know, like just get general endurance. And I've never been a runner, like, so I'm not looking at being able to go for a run, but maybe that would be later on, if once I've lost that bit of where I'm comfortable.
So so it's just working out like what, you know, like would it be so that it feels easier to take the bin out, that you're not like
if you saw my driveway, you'd understand.
Because we just got to make it measurable so you can see, you know, and so then you can see in classes that you're challenging yourself. Like trying to lift up a heavier weight, or trying, you know.
Because I'm kind of stuck on the 3 kilos, because I feel it, and it's like where I can do it comfortably. So I probably should go up to the 4s and slowly stay at the 4s, and
and that way, so you know how you're asking about a tone, you know, like the tone, like feeling more toned. Well, that the weights are going to with that. So we're wanting to make sure. So whenever, like in a class, you want to make sure that you feel like if lifting a weight, you've got to have good technique, but but that you feel by the end of the, like say this morning we did 3 sets, by the end of that 3rd set, we want to be struggling with the weight.
Yeah.
Get to the end, it still feels easy, that weight's too light.
Yeah. I'll probably go to the 4s now.
So even it means if you pick the 4s up and you do 30 seconds of the 4s and then
right, swap back.
So do as much as you can, and that 30 seconds will turn into, or maybe 2 rounds, because if you feel like you're swinging, then you're going to want to drop back.
Yeah, cool.
But you'll notice in no time you'll be able to. So the big thing is starting to lift a heavier weight.
Yep.
So you talked about you used to walk all the time. How often do you feel like you can get in walks now? That's obviously something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I really like walks. I used to go like down at the beach and stuff. It's just more the effort now. Like it's like, because you're only like 2 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And it's like and when I was doing the Pilates, that was my Saturday morning thing.
Yeah.
But if I go walking around the streets here, Fia usually comes, and she and I could do a couple a week, like in the afternoons, and then I'll stop for a few weeks because of the weather or but that's kind of what I want to do on the days where I can't, like the park fit, where I can't, it's too far away for that morning. So like maybe I could get up and do a walk or come home from work and do that walk.
Do you ever watch that calculates your steps or anything?
I do, but I don't like to wear it. But yeah, and that's what I think I need to do.
But roughly, how much do you reckon you walk in a day? How many steps do you think?
It's probably, if I don't do a walk around here, it wouldn't be 10,000.
Yeah.
So I probably need to do.
So roughly, I think you're roughly
maybe 8 or 7.
Okay. So we're looking to get a change. We've got to get we're looking to feel we've got our goal of our Bali holiday.
Yeah.
We probably need to be adding in that daily movement makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
But looking at
I know
that
I know when I have done a walk, it is about 5,000.
Yeah.
Plus, so after work, and
you're 5,000 before the walk or with the walk?
With the walk. So I have had it on when I have done a walk, and it's like 5,000 to 7,000. It depends how, like if I go out to Ballinger Road and come back up.
Yeah.
And the steps, I do 2 lots of the steps.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you feel work in your day? Is there a way that you could fit in extra walks? So it doesn't have to be in one lot. It could be 10-minute stints. It could be, so when I get to school, if I get to school early, I walk then. So pick up the kids. I add that in. So I find for my stress levels is I try to get a walk on the beach. So like yesterday morning, I got up first thing and I went for a walk on the beach.
I love doing that. I could definitely do that on a Sunday and stuff. If I get up early. But I could even do the runs up the driveway, because our driveway is terrible. But I could just for 10 minutes just do little jogs up and down, like while the kids are out the front. Because like before John's home.
Yeah. So it's something, if you can, to make it life easier as well, is fit it in with the kids. So whether get them on their scooters to come with you, or whether get up your driveway while because the more daily movement that you have. So if you're roughly doing 5,000 to 7,000 steps, your body's used to that. So your body's used to that. So we're looking to get a change. We've got to increase what we're doing.
Yeah, because when we go out in the garden too, like that's heavy pulling, like all the weeding and the mowing. So I always add that.
Yeah,
but I reckon the driveway first.
Okay,
if I can't do the walk.
Yeah, so it's working out how. So if you did a 30-minute walk, you've got about 3,000 steps.
And then I add in the because after I have a walk and I put it goes up to like 5,000.
Yeah, so we want to see if you could,
a 30-minute walk. Yeah.
A 30-minute walk, yeah. But you don't have to do it if you just, so you got to think roughly you're doing 5,000 to 7,000 now. We've got to get a change. So we probably want your body to be, we probably want you to be doing to 10 to 12,000 a day.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree with that. And that's where I was like, I need that extra, because I'd find I'd like do the TIFF workouts and I never tracked my steps when I lost Fia's weight. But the walks, like we would do like a big walk around the estate.
Yeah. So it's thinking like, okay, well, I could, like I could drop the kids off at school and I could come home and I could go for a 20-minute walk then before I start doing, because the washing and the other jobs get done. I can park my car further away, when you're on shift, like, can you think about, I had a lady, she worked in an office and she once worked out how she could make her like walk more around her office, like a different way. Like, so you can work out ways of that so it doesn't feel so overwhelming, like, oh, I've got to get home and I now have to do
the whatever.
And now I have to do another half an hour walk and I've got to fit this in. So just see what feels, like I said, like when you drop the kids at school, like, could you do a walk, like for me, waiting to pick them up? So I could get a 15, 20-minute walk in, because I try to get there early because it's so hard to get a car park.
Yeah.
So I can sometimes get a walk in, like
there.
Or I'll sometimes say, like I might be like, oh, right, I find it easier to try to get it done, like Charlie will complain if she's on a bike, or if I go, right, I can get this bit in on my, on my own. Then I've had that, I'll put on a podcast and so just see how we can up that ante, but we want it every day,
and I might add it, like keep a little thing of what I'm doing, little tab.
Diary. So I have a sheet that's really good, and you can fill it out. So it's where you can see where the holes are of what we need. It's looking at sleep, like sleep, steps, stress management, food. It's kind of looking at those pillars, and then you can fill it out every week. So if you like filling that stuff out, I'll send that to you. I'm a pen and paper person, so I like.
Me too.
I like seeing it. And the biggest thing is there's no right or wrong. It's just, it's like, okay, this is where my life's at now. So sometimes, let's say the kids get sick or something, that you can't help that.
No.
But we just do what we can around the situation we're in, because the thing is that when we just keep chipping away, like I said, we've got this goal for June, but we're not going to be like, it's inevitable. Something will happen along the way.
Like I got the COVID and then I was out for like a week.
So something will happen, because it always does. But the thing it's not letting that one thing put you down and be like, oh, I've stuffed it all. It's like, this is life. So expect that something will happen that will try to derail you, but we've just got to keep getting up and keep moving. Keep moving. What do you, so here you've written, you feel like you're steadily improving, but you can relapse. So what do you class as a relapse?
I think just where like, like the weather, and then I'm like, oh, I might have a glass of wine. I'm pretty good. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but I like having like a small glass of red or a sparkling or something.
Don't cut any of that stuff out, because this is life. Please don't. So so whatever the thing is, like I like a glass of wine, I like chocolate, but don't think for 12 weeks I've got to cut all that stuff out, because you don't stick to it. So unless
I think the relapsing would be maybe more the snacking. Like I'll have dinner, because we eat dinner at like 4:00. I don't know why it's been, I think just whenever John gets home, we've just been eating at 4:30. And then I think like the kids have a bath and it's like, oh, it's 7. And then I watch Home and Away, like I love, and then I'll have
Home and Away.
And then like, so I love like corn chips, and I'll get like hummus and like dip, like, and I love olives. I don't know why, so I'll have that, like just a couple. But then, and then I'm usually stop, and then I have a herbal tea. So I'm trying to like
But is that
healthier snacks.
is that something you really enjoy?
Yeah, it is, because it's like because they kind of gravitate upstairs like the others, because John will watch his iPad with Thea in bed and Torrin goes to bed. So I kind of just get that.
That's kind of your one time to yourself.
Yeah, and then instead of like scrolling, I joined the Sienna book club, the parent book club last year.
Oh, cool.
So I've been trying to read more as well, but I have been bad at that. So instead of scrolling, because like I'm mindful of not using my phone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of in a relapse way of just the habits.
Yeah.
So put my phone down and just have a timeout and then just read a book and fall asleep.
When you get the chips and the hummus and whatever, are you just eating like the Doritos out of a bag, like a big bag?
Yeah. So I'll get a little bowl and make a thing, but then sometimes I might go back. So instead of like, I used to buy Doritos because I had terrible but I buy like the organic macro, like it could be the brown rice trip chips or like little rice crackers and but I love corn chips. It's like always been a party favourite.
So please keep that habit up and don't see that as a relapse, because that is your time to yourself.
Yeah,
you're sitting and chilling out. It's not
and I love like a little bit of red on those colder nights, but I can't really have even two glasses of wine these days without it. So I just like a little bit to sip on, even if I'm cooking dinner or something.
Yeah. So I think
that's more my relapse.
Yeah. So don't see that as a bad thing.
Cool. Yeah.
Don't see it as a relapse. That's something that's really enjoyable for your life.
Yeah.
And it should be something that you should make sure that's implemented.
Right.
So that's part of your plan, those chips, with your dip and a little glass of wine every night, have it, because if you take that away, then that's so
I definitely want to drop the 2 coffees, because I like having one, but I don't like having, they don't actually make me feel good, because that's where it upsets my stomach. So I suppose I'd like to get rid of that, because it'd be a habit. My boss is like, oh, do you want to go get a coffee? I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
But you're dropping it because you don't like how it makes you feel, or you're dropping it because you think coffee's unhealthy for you?
I think a bit of both. It definitely doesn't make me feel good, because you get that upset and you get the bloating. If I have one, it's fine, because that's like my thing as well. In the morning, you have a coffee, and I like that.
Yeah.
But if
coffee on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Do you have it on an empty stomach?
Kind of with my breakfast. So I could be having it with yogurt, and that's when so I've swapped to the Zimmel. So we make it together as we're making our food. So we got to,
just see if it feels, so you would have a coffee first thing in the morning, and then you'd have a coffee
probably mid-morning or lunchtime-ish. Yeah. So I don't really have them later in the afternoon. So
So just think, what's the one how do you enjoy it the most?
I think I just like it. Definitely just as a first morning thing. Sometimes I even, could drag it out and just get like a tea in the morning and then have a coffee. At work.
It's just working out. If you're wanting to drop to one, I would look at what feels the best. Like what's so
it's probably more of a social thing.
Yeah.
I'd probably, if I know I'm having a coffee out, I might, wait for later.
Yeah. So it's just see, again, there's no right or wrong, but so with me, I worked out that coffee was bloating me because I was having coffee on an empty stomach, and
that's what I'm having. Yeah.
That was causing me to bloat. I also worked out that it wasn't the coffee I wanted in the morning, it was a hot drink.
Yeah. I never drank coffee until I went to Italy for some reason and got their coffee. But I love tea. Like I collected teapots and all the different teas, and I've always loved tea. So
if you're looking to drop that one coffee, again, you don't have to. It's just if you feel
hot
like
drink.
Yeah, so I worked out that it was the hot drink that I wanted first thing in the morning, and that made me feel and I had a coffee, then I'll have and I like to get a coffee out. So I
Yeah, and that's what I like.
Yeah. So this is what I'm asking you to think about, what's more enjoyable. Like I found.
Yeah, having a coffee out, because might take Torrin or Fia out. Like sometimes if Fia comes on the Saturday, she wants to go to her favourite cafe.
Yeah.
So we'll go down and get a coffee, and she gets coffee, but it's a baby chino.
Yeah. Charlie the same. So I found that I worked out, that's what I'm saying. So just think what's more enjoyable for you. Like
that's right.
preferred that to go buy a coffee, to like go for a walk on the beach. I find it enjoyable than trying to, and it feels better for my stomach because I'm not bloating.
Yeah.
But it's
I bought this collagen powder that you make up into, it's like collagen and protein.
Oh yeah.
Make it into a shake, like a meal substitute. I got sucked in on one of those Instagram, and it tastes like a milkshake, and that's what I love, milkshakes.
Yeah.
So I was gonna try take a shaker to work, and after I've had lunch and I might like get a bit hungry, I could have that in the afternoon, and then make my dinner a bit later, so I wouldn't be snacking.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I don't think that snack that you're having is that bad.
Yeah, I have been mindful. I definitely don't buy, like sometimes I love the orange packet Dorito. It's just been something that I've just loved it.
Because what I was saying is, if you like the Doritos, you should look for the small, like, can you buy the little?
Yeah.
Because if you had that and, you actually thought about like really savoring the moment of having that.
Yeah.
It's only like 100 calories.
Yeah. It's like, I love Mexican food. Like I love, tacos, like it's the chip stuff.
Yeah.
So and it's an easy dinner. Like we'll just, I've, instead of using sour cream, I'll use Greek yogurt. I will use the sauce that it comes with, I bought like the corn tortillas instead of.
Yep.
So I have, but like we'll use cheese, and so they're kind of heavy, I suppose. But
But I think it's just looking at like, like if it's, because sometimes the eating dinner together with the kids, like that's, for me, that's really important. Like to try to have a like that they say, and that's why it was really important for me is to make sure, they say that the dinner table is where you
absolutely.
So eating, I think, all together, and if you're like relapse or snacking after dinner, if it's just that one thing, like I don't think it's and what we would look at is we would look at going, okay, we're going to try to get you moving more, we're going to like getting more of that daily movement. We're going to making sure that when you're in the gym that you're starting to lift heavier weights.
Yeah, true.
We're going to look at your food. So I'm going to try to get you to focus on protein. So you talk about your breakfast. Your breakfast was coconut yogurt, granola bar.
Granola and straw. Yeah, actually on the weekends we do. I will get like boiled eggs.
Yeah,
but that's like my one protein breakfast.
Yeah. So like I would like to look at getting every meal to be protein focused.
Yeah.
And that's what I was asking before, is when you did that TIFXO meals, how much, like were they focusing on the macros?
I might send you a print screen of one of them.
Yeah. But all we want is I want you to look at every meal and to make sure that the protein is the hero on the plate.
Yeah.
Your protein's going to keep you full. So the other thing is, when you look at increasing your protein, you might not find you might find that you're not even looking for that after evening.
Yeah.
Because you're fuller.
Yeah.
But protein's going to help build your muscle. So that toned look that we're out feeling, it's going to coincide with the lifting the heavier weights.
Yeah.
You're going to be lifting heavier weights, so your muscles are going to tear. We want them to repair. So help them repair. And it will help with your energy too.
Yeah, true.
But we don't want to overcomplicate it.
No.
So we want to all I want is just for, like for a couple of weeks is make protein your focus. And
Yeah.
then every meal that you're eating, I just want you to look and make protein that hero. And then
Yeah.
what we'll do is we'll see how you'll feel in a few weeks after that. And then see how you find that. What happens with most people is they go, oh my God, I can't eat that much food because protein's really filling.
Yeah.
But the more muscle mass you have, the more protein you need.
Yeah.
When I do your scan, I'll know the exact amount you need. But I'm going to guess you're going to need like between, let's say, 100, 150 grams of protein a day. I aim for 150.
Yeah, okay.
So
Because we eat, and
that's
I've been
rough.
cooking a lot of rice stuff too, which is heavy because
Yeah.
Fia loves rice.
Yeah.
So I looked back and I was like, oh my God, we had it like 5 nights last week. But I've been getting like the little quinoa and brown rice bowls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we just get the zapped bag rice and then or I just had the sauce stuff and used a bit of tomato because we have a lot of curries at home.
Yeah, they're easy, aren't they? I find I can hide. I make lots of curries. I just find it easy. What I do lots of times is I add greens to mine. So I'll still have some rice, but then I'll have a lot of greens, and then then I kind of mix it in, so that I'm not eating like much rice. But generally, it's just because I don't enjoy that feeling at night. But it's
and that's
So that's what I think is, like if you just described your breakfast before, but that didn't have any protein in it. So as a rough guide, if we're aiming for, let's say, if you're aiming for 120 a day, I'll know more once we scan, but let's say you're, as a one chicken breast is 30 grams of protein.
One. 100. We eat lots of chicken, but
so that's saying, so 115 grams of chicken, but you don't have to get protein just from meat, like legumes, your tofu, like there's so many other ways that you can get your yogurts, those types of things. You can get protein in without but I try to aim for about 30 odd grams of protein in a meal. So if you just start paying attention to that, and then we'll see
what happens.
We'll see how that feels. And how often do you feel like you bloat?
Sometimes it could be daily. Like I feel definitely like hormonal time. And that could be the whole week, and your skin and my eczema's broken out. And
are you good with tracking your cycle?
Yeah, it's pretty regular. Right on the dot.
How are you with knowing that
I know because I get some acne on my face. And I get a bit of like a back pain, and my eczema flares up on my hands. I get like more itchy.
Do you know like like as a rough guide, if we were looking at our weight, you would look at the first 2 weeks of your cycle, you're more inclined to lose weight, then we ovulate, and then ovulation onwards, you tend to be heavier, we tend to crave.
And that's exactly right.
So do you tend to follow your cycle that way?
Definitely. And that's so I could feel bloated for that whole week and a half.
And do you beat yourself up about it? Do you think there's something wrong, or do you know that it's your cycle?
I know it's and then sometimes I'll crave and I'll just like relapse, but I might eat like a whole bag of Doritos but like the actual Doritos, and then you're like, oh, it makes me feel a bit or like really heavy meals like.
So what we want to look at is if we can just start paying more attention to those times of the cycle. So the 2 weeks leading into your period, everyone's different, but it's working out, is that the time that you're craving more Doritos? Because instead of denying yourself, maybe like making sure that you've got better options available, or that you say
that's true.
I'm chocolate. So people go, oh, I'm not going to have any chocolate. But then all they do is they avoid eating the chocolate and eat everything else, and they should have just eaten the chocolate to start off with.
Yeah. And I do love Milo. So like I'll have a hot Milo sometimes.
Yeah.
Instead of the tea. And I think Milo's all right in a way. I'll have a Milo.
So that's what I said, like we don't
Yeah.
now I know we've got to go soon. So
Oh,
what's your sleep like?
yeah, look, I'm pretty like it depends if I've got a lot on my mind. I could sleep 5 hours, like I had 5 hours last night, only because like I got up that earlier for class and I was like watching movies
Yeah.
because I didn't have to work today. But yeah, generally I get like 7 hours. Like I go to bed pretty like 8:30. I'm a bit of a nana.
So am I, sorry.
Yeah, but it's just that I need to stop scrolling because and then a few friends have been away, so that's when I kind of message them and catch up on. But I'm trying to stop that because I don't feel good in like my eyes and stuff.
Do you get do the kids sleep through the night, or are you woken up?
No, they sleep through the night.
Or you generally
Yeah.
and so on a like if you're coming to the class at 5, do you normally go to bed at midnight, or do you?
Not mid. Probably 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so 10 would be the latest. But yeah, generally like by 9:30, I've cleaned up downstairs. I've taken my time getting I lay Fia's clothes out and stuff. And then sometimes I'm out or I could be, yeah. So generally 7 hours I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what about you? So how would you class stress levels?
Yeah, no, work I think is good. Yeah, so it depends where I've been working that day sometimes.
Feel like stress gets on top of you? Do you feel like
sometimes the day to day because I'm not gonna, but like you coordinate everything, and then like at home the stupid cat getting out.
yeah. How do you
So like
manage?
so to manage it, like I like the classes, and like mum hears the brunt of it, and my friends, like my close friends. But like say for example on Friday the cat got out. The bane of my existence, and he was out all night. Not like we're happy, but it was just more the people
Worried about everyone else.
worried about the neighbours. Anyway, he came and killed 3 rats and ate them on the back deck. So like it's just that stuff that I know I shouldn't worry about, but you do because you're worrying about other people.
Yeah.
And then like worry about like my brother's going through stuff and. Or like stuff that I know it's totally fine, but like you just but it's just that who I am.
Yeah.
So and I can tell when it gets too much because my sleep might be a bit more, or like my eczema on my hands is because it's stress induced.
So have you ever used any like stress management strategies?
Not really. I haven't listened to like music or I used to have a bath here and there, but our bath's crap. But like kind of hot showers, and I do like a face mask. Like I do have that time out, and I think that's what I kind of use, just watching the TV that I want to watch, and reading. Like that's what I was. So I suppose I do, and chatting to my mum and stuff, and
So what we want to think in our plan is we want to think about how you can implement some of those stress management strategies in your life.
Yeah.
And what I find people do is they go, oh yeah, but I'm not stressed, so I'm okay. But we want to implement them so that they're habits, so that when things do get stressful, you're already, so for me, my strategies are going for a walk on the beach. That's
absolutely.
Like yesterday morning, that was the first thing I did. I just said, oh, I'm going to walk on the beach.
Well, actually, I love getting like the pedicure, like my nails done.
Yep.
So I get a regular pedicure every, I don't know, 5 weeks or something.
Yep.
But I feel a bit more put together if I have my nails done.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do stuff for myself. Yeah.
Yep. So it's just thinking of, I like personally, we have a sauna. So that's,
sweet. Yeah.
That's one of and so I try to do that every day.
Yeah.
So I sit in the sauna for like 20 odd minutes. and took me a long time to like them, but I found like there's one meditation I really, really like.
Yeah.
And I find that when I do that, I'm always calmer, I'm always better for the kids.
Yeah.
So I want you to just think of some stress management strategies
Yeah.
that you can put, but it can be reading, it can be, I also watch the iPad, you know. Obviously we had people here Saturday night, and whenever I sat and watched, I think everyone left about 9 o'clock, and I sat and watched Gilmore Girls for an hour or so after, because that's just like, it's just something I don't have to think about. So so watching a show is one of my I love podcasts. So it's just working out some of those things to help, like we're looking at the overall, we want to look at the overall picture. Quickly, because I know we've got to go, what do you do when you start to lack motivation?
I find that either sometimes I'll I'll talk to my friend and we're like, oh, or I kind of whinge and moan about it and I'll either do it.
Yeah.
Or I'll have that relapse, is what I say, and I'll just sit on the couch and feel frumpy and not good because I haven't moved. So I know I feel better if I move. But if say I'm thinking about too much, or there's something coming up that I got to get ready for, I'll just do that first over the movement. So
So we want to look at like working on this stuff before it happens. So what do we do, like when they say miss one class, like I notice a big thing, obviously running classes, like people start to miss classes, their food then drops. I
think if I food prep a bit better, because definitely coming home on those work days are the toughest days, because John's picking up Torrin and then we're all hungry and the kids are in the cupboard as you're trying to cook, so that's always been hard. And then it's like 5:30 by the time we've cleaned up. And then it's like it's raining or it's getting dark and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered going. But if I could do something at home, like a little workout of TIFF or something, like for 20 minutes, that might even and I have that intention as well, but I just don't.
I think knowing with your back, I think we could put a focus on the core.
Yeah, the back's been weird. It has been, even in the car it will twinge and I'm like, oh.
But I think at home you don't need to exercise for hours on end, but I think like making our body feel good. I think that could be a goal, like to work on the stretching of your back, and we want to strengthen your transverse abs, which is the abdominals.
Actually my core is terrible. Like I can't do the planks, like, so if I could do a plank properly. And even a burpee, if I do too many in a row, I do get that vestibular, but I just stop for a bit and have a drink. But I find getting a bit better with that. But
that can be an indicator on how we're okay. So I'm going to put all this together for you. I am going to talk out a plan. So talk it out, I'll write it out, I'll send it to you, and then you can ask me as many questions.
Cool.
And if we start implementing as much as we can from today, let's check in again in 2 weeks. And because if you get to me in 2 weeks and be like, this isn't working, or I don't like, I'm struggling with this, then we change it. There's no right or wrong, because we've got to find what works for you. So it's really important when you are looking to achieve a weight loss goal to not only look at the scales. So if you see here that Jemma has already been looking at how her clothes fit, so that is a great way, a great indicator of seeing if you have lost weight, because using just the scale is not always the best way, or it's not the only indicator whether we have lost weight or not. So we have other options. So I see it as a piece of data. So we've got to look for data and piece all the pieces together. But if we're only looking at one measurement, being the scale, then you are more likely it's going to be harder to see your results, because, and the things could be changing, but if we're only looking at this one measure, we'll think that we're not actually getting where we want to get to. So your weight can be influenced by so many things. So that's why we want to be looking at taking measurements. If you have access to a body composition scale, get something like that. We want to be looking at your weight, look at how your clothes fit, and photos. So that's 5 more things that we want to look at to see if things change, if things are changing. If you are only looking at that one measure, being the scale, that scale can change whether, depending on food you've eaten, depending on how much your cycle at the end, how much water you've had. So there's so many things that can influence that number, and we could be looking at that and then think that we're not actually winning, or we're not actually losing the weight that we're looking to, when you actually are. So this is what I love really much. Jemma is quite clear in what her goal is, where lots of people, I find, they do deep down know that they do want to actually lose some weight, but they feel really, really scared to actually say that. And the reason they can be scared to say that is because they may be a little bit nervous to put it out there in case they don't achieve it, then they feel like they're a failure. But I think to be it's really good to be really, really clear on what you want and be clear from the start. So we have a clear goal now, and now we have something else that is great for us to work towards is she has a date that she's going away. So she has a holiday that she's looking forward to, which is going to help drive that motivation to get those extra walks in, to pick up that heavier weight in the gym, and to look differently at her food. So this is really exciting. All right, so what we're doing here is I'm trying to find out a little bit more of what Jemma's history is. So what is her history with food? So has she spent a lot of her life dieting? Has she yo-yoed lots of her life? So if she is in that category, then sometimes we can't just go straight into cutting calories or anything like that. We need to kind of establish how much food she's currently eating, and then look at to balance it out from there. Once she does do her body composition scan, we will have more answers from there. What we're also trying to navigate is Jemma is a busy mum. She's got two little kids. She works herself, her husband works, she's running the household, so we need to make sure that what plan and that we're giving her is going to work for her family. I don't want to give her things that she's not going to be able to stick to forever. I don't want to give her things to make her life harder, because I want her to be successful. So finding out all this information first, or doing this bit of pre-planning, is going to really help in helping navigate what options we choose for her. Daily movement is really, really important when having a weight loss goal, but it is something that I often see as underestimated or not seen as important. When people are pushing themselves to make it to the gym, you are only you're only exercising for, let's say you're doing half an hour to 40 minutes or an hour a day, or every second day. Well, there's lots of other hours in the day that we still need to be moving. We tend to have sedentary jobs. We tend to be more, not moving as much. So get that daily movement up. It makes a massive difference in your results. Now, your daily movement can obviously be walking. It could be doing activities at home. It can be, more household activities, anything like that. But daily movement makes a massive goal, but it's really, really underestimated. So if you are looking for weight loss, as important as it is to go to the gym, to get your sleep right, and to look at your food, it is really, really important to also make sure that we are moving more every day and keeping our body active and moving. I've had women who have only changed their daily activity. So they've only changed their steps. They've increased their steps, and they've had dramatic changes to their bodies from just changing that one thing. So check that out. So this is a really, really important point to stop at and to just reflect on. So when people are looking at setting goals, when they come to me saying goals, they come to me saying, I'm going to cut out all of these things. So generally they'll say they're going to cut out alcohol. They'll say they're going to cut out whatever food or the thing that they really, really enjoy in life. The thing is that when you cut out and you take away all of these things that you really, really love, you're going to end up hating what you're doing, and you're not going to stick to it long term. So that's why it's really important to make sure that we're making these things part of your lifestyle. So I see so many people, they'll say, I'm gonna cut out alcohol, or I'm gonna cut out, chocolate. I'm gonna cut out those things. But the thing is that what's going to happen when you put them back in? So isn't it better to lose weight it might take you longer, but you're going to lose weight whilst you're doing the things that you love? Then you are going to be able to keep it off. Then you can learn how to manage your lifestyle, what you're eating, doing the things you enjoy, still having fun at the same time, whilst still losing weight. So it's really important to not get rid of all the things that you enjoy, because you might stick to it short term, but you're not going to be able to stick to it long term. Here we are in this for the long term game.